evening. The regular meeting of the Wayne Westland Community School Board of Education is now brought to order on Monday, April 9th, 2018 at 7:02 p.m. On behalf of the Board of Education, I would like to welcome each and every one of you. Your attendance here this evening shows your interest in public education and is greatly appreciated. So, we're going to move on to item 326.18, Pledge of Allegiance. We have children here today from Wildwood Elementary. Let me see, I had a little change, so I just want to make sure. So if we can have Isaac Laura come down, Brooklyn Johnson, Jordan King, Joshua McGrath, and Ange King. You're going to come right here, and you all look so nice. Grab the mic from here, and we're going to face the flag right down. We're going to stand right there and face the flag right there. And then whenever you all are ready, all right, and face that way. And start when you're ready. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Stay right there. Yeah, just go down here. You can read them from here first. You can read them first. Oh, okay, go ahead. That's fine. You stay right there. Miss Hines is going to come down, and she's going to read your bios from down there, and she's also going to give you your certificates from the Board of Education. Okay? You all look so nice.
Yeah, you like
Yeah?
Okay, so you guys can all turn this way. Okay, first we have Isaac Law. Which one is Isaac? Hello, Isaac. How are you? Okay, Isaac, he is in kindergarten and he's in Miss Shepherd's class. He's 5 years old and he loves playing tag. We also have Brooklyn Johnson. Brooklyn. Okay, she is in the first grade and is Mrs. Briscoe's class. She is 7 years old and her favorite color is purple. We have Jordan. He is in the second grade and in Mrs. Pawokie's class. He's 7 years old and he likes writing. Now, which one is Jordan? Hello, Jordan. And we have Joshua McGarth. He's in the third grade and in Mrs. Miller's class. He's 10 years old. He likes to hang out with his mom. Now, which one is Joshua? Hello, Joshua. And last we have Angie. Brother, how do you pronounce it? Is Agnay? Angie. Angie King. She is in the fourth grade in Mrs. Patterson's class. She's 10 years old and she likes to write. Congratulations. Thank you for doing the pledge for us. I have some certificates for you all.
So did the children bring anyone with them today? Did the children bring anyone with them today?
Did the children bring anyone with them today? The parent? The principal? Where?
Actually, did my mom and dad.
Also?
My dad is up there, and that's my nanny.
Oh.
Okay, and go to the next one. Who else has? Ange and Jordan. We need your. Did you bring someone?
Yeah, they drove here by themselves.
Okay.
Did you bring anyone with you today? And who did you bring today? And where are they at? Oh, there.
All right. Did they bring an administrator with them today, or?
It's hiding over there.
All right. So is Miss Johnson around? Oh, okay. So once you get your certificates there, you're going to follow Miss Johnson over there, and she's going to take you out and take a picture with you all so you can go on the website for today. And thank you so much for coming. You can follow Miss Hines. She's going to take you right that way and take your picture. Follow that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna give Ms. Hines a second to come back.
Thank you.
Is she coming back?
I don't know, that one guy's so cute.
Yeah, I know. Did we lose Ms. Hines? Okay. I don't know. Maybe she decides she wants to take a picture with the kids. So we're gonna go on to 327.818 roll call. And Ms. Madell is gonna call off the roll call for us. Oh, there she is. Okay. There you go.
I'm back.
We thought maybe you decided to leave with the kids.
All right, we have Miss Madell,
I'm here.
Mr. Cox,
Present.
Mr. Buckaloo,
Present.
Dr. Weaver, Miss Hines here, Miss Madison,
Present.
Miss Walker.
Present.
Let the record show 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 328.18, recognition and presentations. Dr. Holt.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Rebecca Peck, who's going to announce our spelling bee winners for this year.
Thank you, Dr. Holt. Madam President. Today I would like to announce two winners of our spelling bee. The spelling bee was held here in the district, and we have a boy and a girl representing the 5th and the 6th grade. 6th and the 8th grade? I don't know. So, big question, and this is kind of a spoiler alert because I'm not quite sure. Is Michaela Hudson here? Michaela Hudson? How about Joseph Nunez? Yay!
Joseph.
Okay, spoiler alert, sorry about that. So our district recently held the spelling bee competitions. I'd like to introduce the winner of our 7th and 8th grade spelling bee, Joseph Nunez. Joseph is an 8th grade student at Stevenson Middle School. While Michaela is not here today, she was the 5th and 6th grade spelling bee winner, and she's a 6th grader at Marshall Upper Elementary. Both students went on to compete at the WXYZ Scripps Spelling Bee, where 73 students, grades 5 through 8, competed in the next Spelling Bee Championship. We are very honored to have them representing us. Thank you very much, Joseph. We're all very proud of your accomplishments. We have 2 plaques, and this plaque will be proudly held at Marshall Upper Elementary, and it has Michaela's Hudson's name inscribed on it. And, drum roll, this will be proudly held at Stevenson Middle School, and this has Joseph Nunez' name on the plaque, forever part of our spelling bee program. Joseph, if you could please come up to this podium. We would like to, Mrs. Madell, would like to present you with your certificate, and we'd also like to have a picture taken out in the hallway with your plaque, but you have to give it back.
Exactly. Joseph and I got a chance to meet each other last year when you were our winner and represented our school district. And before the spelling bee this year, I told him, I said, you're gonna win. No, Vivian's better. I said, no, you're gonna win. And sure enough, here he is again, representing our school district. You did us proud. Of course, not everybody can win, but just being able to go down there and participate is quite an honor. And we are so proud of you. And on the behalf of the school district, I have a certificate of recognition for you. Congratulations.
Would you like to tell us who you brought with you today?
I brought my mom, my sister, and my dad.
Okay. Joseph, can you tell us the word that you won on? Do you remember the spelling word that you won?
Fortunately, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Felt like it was like a zillion years ago. I can't remember.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for coming in today and sharing your achievements with us. And they're gonna take your picture outside. Is there something else you wanna say to the listening audience while you're still here?
Thank you all for attending, and I appreciate this award on behalf of all my family, and I thank them for supporting me and helping me through all the spelling bees from 6th grade through now.
All right, thank you. Okay. So, moving on to item number 329.18, citizen comments, agenda items only. I see you, Miss Sample. It's okay. You ready? Okay.
Okay, it's up for a minute. Okay. Moving on from the last meeting, I've noticed that in the past month, trying to do more research and my due diligence, why aren't the meeting minutes posted from March? The meeting minutes from February 12th are on there. If you look for the meeting minutes for April 9th, it's up there. However, that was the agenda items from the study session that just happened at 6 o'clock. The agenda for March 29th meeting is online, but the minutes aren't there. Are we not putting them up there for a special reason? Is there a reason for it? I would appreciate understanding and knowing that. And also, when you go to 332.18.18, the approval for reimbursement resolution, I'm hoping that that is going to be a more plethora of information given than what is written in the packet, because I'm kind of confused because it talks about the bond issue and just would like a little bit more information leading up to that and discussed.
Thank you. Anyone else on agenda items only? Okay. Moving on to item number 330.18, consent agenda. This time I'll take a motion. Moved by Mrs. Madell. Any support by Dr. Weaver? Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Miss Madison?
Yes.
Miss Madell?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver? Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 7-0.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item number 332.18, review and approval, business services and finance items. Mr. Larson Scheidler.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. On pages 12 through 14, you have a resolution, the reimbursement resolution. This allows a district to capture expenses within 60 days of their expenditure that would be applicable in a bond issue. And what the $350,000 that is in this resolution relates to about $200,000 worth of technology equipment, and mostly Wi-Fi, and then also about $150,000 in buses. This is similar to a resolution that we passed last fall, June 26th. Okay, thank you. June 26th of last year, that will reimburse us about $1.8 million for buses we purchased at that time. So we're about $2.1 million. When the bond passes, we'll be able to reimburse ourselves for those expenses.
This time I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Cox. Any support?
Second.
Supported by Mrs. Madison. Any discussion?
Question,
Dr. Weaver?
are these buses going to be purchased or leased?
The ones in this resolution?
Yes.
They're the ones that we purchased, well, within 60 days. I think it was back in February we passed it.
Any other discussion?
So it's my understanding that the bond just gives us an opportunity essentially to reallocate funding.
Essentially, yeah. So you don't wait to the bond and then buy everything at the bond. You're able to do some pre-planning.
I have a question.
Mrs. Madell?
How's our how's our bus fleet looking with the purchase of the new buses?
Getting much better. We have about 93 buses. I think now we because of the replacement cycle that we started, we're at about 50. They're within, 4 years old. We're replacing about 10 a year, and that's the cycle that we're on. We passed a resolution. We'll purchase 70 more, and as I was talking to Trustee Bucklew, we would plan on doing that in 3 portions. So we wouldn't go out and purchase all the buses. We would stay on that 10 per year cycle.
Were we able to sell the other unusable buses?
We were auctioning them, mostly for parts, the lifts and air conditioning. The others went for scrap.
Any other discussion? Okay, I'll take a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Medill?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 7-0.
Thank you, motion carries. Moving on to item number 33.18, decision on grade configuration. Everything okay? Okay. So some of you were here prior. We had a study session prior to this meeting to discuss the grade configuration, and pretty all of the board members suggested or made how they felt about the grades and asked any questions that they might have wanted to have. So since we've already went through that, at this time I'll take a motion. A motion is in order.
I'd like to move that we move forward with the configuration K through 5, middle school 6 through 8, and high school 9 through 12.
Support?
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Cox. It's been supported by Mrs. Madison. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please. And this is on the K5, 6, 8, 9, 12.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Madison?
Yes.
Ms. Medill?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 7-0.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 334.18, Head Start Monthly Report. Ms. Medill.
The information that you usually receive for the monthly report for Head Start for the month of March has not yet been finalized. So expect to receive it next month. Hopefully you will receive 2 months at that time.
So you won't need a motion or anything?
Nope.
So, okay. All right. Moving on to item number 335.18, Superintendent Report. Dr. Holt?
Thank you, Madam President. And thank you, Board of Education, for voting in favor of our children and our staff and our community for K-5, 6, 8, 9, 12. I am sure that we will do an amazing job of making sure that we have everything we need to institute this model in the next 2 years before it actually comes to fruition. I did want to take this moment because last month we received information from the Michigan Association of School Boards, and so I wanted to give congratulations to our entire board for your honors from the Michigan Association of School Boards. So congratulations to our entire board for receiving honor board status through the Michigan Association of School Boards. Each one of the board trustees has achieved level 1 certification. This board is one of a very limited number of boards in the state to achieve this recognition. In addition to this accomplishment by the entire board, individual trustees have earned their own awards. Congratulations to Mrs. Sally Madison for achieving the Award of Merit. Congratulations to Mr. David Cox for achieving level 1 certification and the Award of Merit. And to Mr. Tom Buckaloo and Mr. Fred Weaver for achieving the Master Platinum Award. On behalf of myself, MASB, and the community, thank you for taking the time to improve your leadership effectiveness by completing board development courses. Thank you.
Is that all?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Kept it short this time.
All right. Item number 336.18, citizen comments, non-agenda items. Okay. Mrs. McKinney?
It's come to my attention that the school board has an idea that they're going to close schools. I think if it has to be, it has to be, but If you expect a bond notice, I don't think you're gonna get it, a bond increase, because you spent the money, you should have taken all of this into consideration when we tore down schools that were just remodeled, some of them not even finished, and you were tearing them down and selling them. You sold one school for less money than what you put into it. I know this isn't with your administration, but it reflects on everybody in the city or in the school district. I've been in the school district for 69 years. I just think it's appalling that this is going on. And the idea that a lot of the employees are dissatisfied with the way things are going. And then you're closing continuing education, and then I heard the rumor that they're gonna get rid of special ed, which is against the ADA laws. So I think you better get yourselves together.
Thank you, Mrs. McKinney. Anyone else? I'll take it. Thank you. Mrs. Sample?
Two last things that I wanted to bring up, and then I am done for the evening. Moving forward, I do congratulate the board making this tough decision, yes. But again, reiterating what I brought up in the study session, what I brought to you was what the board may or may not have received the information in that compiled data from that outsource of Higgins, whatever that is, about the disciplinary actions. It wasn't just about sixth graders. I did bring up fourth graders. In that one meeting, a lot of fourth grade parents came and were talking about it. They came to the next board meeting in January and voiced their opinions to you, talking about the discipline. I do not want this board to move forward saying, okay, we're only gonna work with the grade. I was called out at the study session in regards to the disciplinary actions by somebody on the board. Again, I am not focusing just on the negative. One bad apple does ruin the seed for everybody. When you have one person, one student in a classroom of 20, 30 that acts up, you take away from the other 29 that are good students. Granted, we have great students here. But again, we need to work on implementing disciplinary actions, not harsh punishment, but to change this that's going on in the district so that everybody can learn. Yes, we are in a partnership agreement because of the low test scores. Well, why is it a low test score? Is it because of the children not being able to learn? That should be questioned. That should be thought of. Not just, we're moving on, we have this, there's consolidations, there's all this. A lot's going on in the past 6-7 months of this district that we need to compartmentalize and do everything. So please heed this and go and look forward and moving on. Also, my question in regards to this reimbursement resolution, I might be naive and call me that because I am out of touch a little bit, but it does say proposed 2018 school building and site bonds. Was this part of the bonds that you guys are trying to bring up in November? Is this part of the closing and reconstructions and all that? Is it the same bonds? Because the way it's written in here, it's only technology and busing and everything. Those were my questions. That was my concerns. Not, is this a separate bond that I would just need to know? Clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. We have someone here.
Cecilia Garcia Cervantes.
You can go right up there. And please say your name again into the mic so we can have it for record.
From recent political activist meetings, we have discussed further steps to ask because there has been no public statement released on it as we asked. I'm Cecilia Garcia and I speak on behalf of the Political Activist Club from the last board meeting. We are wondering if you have released a public statement because students are your #1 priority.
Is what's going to chart the course for the future. But I want you to know that there is of all of the important things that we have to decide, many of them on the plate right now, nothing is more important than your safety and security to every member of the Board of Education, the administrators and the teachers.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? want to make sure I don't miss anyone. It's a crowded room. Okay. Item number 337.18, review of recommendations, Board of Education. I might as well stay right there. I've been staring down there all day. Mr. Buckaloo?
Well, thanks a lot. I have several pages here of notes that I made. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that our young people have done in the last month or so. But I talked to Dr. Holt before this meeting, and apparently we're going to bring those folks in and do the job right. We're going to bring in folks from the Ethics Bowl team, from the girls' basketball team from Wayne High, from the boys' wrestling team at John Glenn, and maybe even the ROTC kids from Wayne High as well. Two of those groups are off to compete at national tournaments. Others have ended their seasons quite successfully. So I won't read all of that stuff, although I would like to. It's a very positive list. I had the pleasure of attending a coffee with the legislators earlier today. A couple of the people in this room were there as well. One thing that came up was school safety. Apparently, our legislature has not introduced any legislation regarding school safety in the last 3 weeks or so. And that's kind of a shame. If ever there was a time to do it, I would think that recent events would prompt this as being the time. One thing did come out of that meeting, and a bill being introduced into the legislature now, in fact, has been introduced by Representative Robert Kozlowski, is something that, if it passes, is going to dramatically change school funding. Most of you are aware that schools funded at the low end, when there is an increase, will receive twice as much money as schools at the top end of the financial scale. It's called the 2X factor. What Representative Kozlowski has recommended in the form of a bill for the legislature is a 3X proposal. That sounds wonderful. Instead of getting the expected $240 additional per student this coming year, it would mean that we would receive $360. That's for additional for each student, which would be a welcome chunk of change. I don't think it's going to pass, and realistically, I don't imagine anyone out here thinks it's going to pass, but it is an opportunity to keep in front of the legislature the idea of the study that was recently done on the cost of educating a student. We need to keep that in front of the legislature. We need to keep it in front of the governor. And I've been told that probably we don't need to talk about dollar amounts. We don't need to mention that close to $10,000 is the appropriate amount of money that we should be receiving if we want to do an adequate job of funding our students. What we do want to know, and what we ought to emphasize, is that a sum of money adequate to doing the job, to paying our staff, to maintaining our facilities, for training, all of those things are and have been for the last 20 years or so the responsibility of the state. They took that over. They took it away from our communities. And so if this bill does nothing else, it will keep the adequacy study in front of everybody's mind. And for that, I'm very thankful to Representative Kozlowski. One last thing, I had a brief conversation with Mr. Larson Scheidler at the beginning of the meeting, before it began. We have a bond, and the bond is about to be paid off. During the course of that 20-year bond, we've refinanced it twice. The first time I wasn't on the board, I didn't pay much attention. I was a member of the staff. These things didn't interest me too much. I was here for the second refunding. And as far as our community is concerned, as a whole, we have, and that means that administration, Mr. Larson Scheidler, have saved our community over $1 million by restructuring that bond, and that was done 2 years ago. We're not spendthrift. We're not frivolous with the money that you give us. We do our very utmost to make sure that we get dollar value for dollars spent, and we will continue to do that in the future. We've reconfigured our buildings as of tonight. There's much work to be done to make sure that that reconfiguration produces the kind of educational results that this district needs, that our community and our students deserve. We have much work to do. No configuration is a solution. It's only a baby step forward. So there's much to do, but I have faith that we're going to move in that direction. I have faith that we have the leadership that's going to drive us in that direction, and I certainly have faith that we have the staff and the support staff that are in a position to see to it that our children learn at a level that will make us all proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buckaloo. Mrs. Madison.
I just kind of want to reiterate what I had said back at the study session. We've now passed the K through 5, 6, 8, 9 through 12, and I believe very strongly in that we all can pull together and support it, and I feel we have pretty much everyone in the room here with an agreement that that is what is best for our district. And with that, again, with any kind of disciplinary issues or any struggles that we currently have or should embark on moving forward, I find it very vitally important that we all promote unity and not segregation, that every student, every child have the opportunity to learn, and even with any student that is struggling, that we find resources and that we reach out to each other and do what we can for every struggling student, and keep in mind that we are in a community where students may not necessarily have resources at home or privileges at home that other students have, and we need to keep that in mind and do what we can to support those students too, and recognize where are the behaviors coming from, and try to embrace that student and nurture that student and realize that that is what we are here for. And to keep in mind that as a board, we act unified. Not one board member can make any decision for this school district. Our sole purpose is to serve our district by employing our superintendent. That is our one employee. We come together and do what we can unified as a board to make this district be the best place for an education for all students.
Thank you, Ms. Madison. Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Sean. Like our superintendent, I had prepared notes, and I'm also going to not read from them, but just talk about everything that's happened here. And when I think about everything that's happened, it really started happening last July. Last July, when I got a call from our president who said that we were going to be embarking upon a new search for a superintendent. And at that same time, we were already heavy into the process that culminated tonight in a decision about configuration, which by no means is the last of this issue. This is the foundation block of our financing going forward. In order to determine what we need, we have to first know what we're going to have, and we have to develop some supposes. Supposes we know how many children are going to be born over the next 5 and 10 years. It's not an easy decision, and I think that's why everybody didn't struggle with it, but they certainly put a lot into coming up with the right decision. That meeting on September 18th was the first meeting that our new superintendent spent with us. Actually, I believe you started the next day. That contract was authorized that night, and you started the next day. That was the night that Mr. Larson Scheidler notified us that Plant Moran was going to be preparing their audit. And their audit, if I'm not mistaken, their audit came back, and I think 2 organizations gave us an award of merit over how our finances have been controlled. And when I think about, as I've served in the capacity of president of the board before, and when I think about what President Walker has had to contend with since last July, this whole process had to be kept on track. And for these comments, I was beginning to count all the special meetings that we'd had. Frankly, I got up there to 18 or 20 and just stopped counting. But here we are, on time, and more importantly, a unified board on a decision that was polarizing and had some challenges to it. Also, we selected a new superintendent. And the superintendent no longer, and no sooner had it hit the ground, but we were having our first meeting with James Silveri on choice work and all that was going to. So with all of the issues, we clearly have the right leadership. We've done the job that we needed to do. And I know there's been some passion back and forth, and I just asked my president, don't confuse my passion for disrespect to the person or the process. It's just passion. I care as you do. And you often say we're all family. Well, sometimes family, cares deeply and expresses it deeply. I'm very happy with what happened tonight. I think this is where we needed to be right now. I would have argued vehemently if I had thought it was different. But as Ms. Sample said this evening, so much has happened in the last 6 or 8 months. One of the things that did happen is we know what we're dealing with in terms of money. And we all know that buildings and buses are not our school district. Teachers are our school district. And I know that I'm not the only member of the board that we have to be fiscally sound. But we need to be just as creative and do something about our people. And I'm willing to work with you on that. Whatever I can do, whatever we can do together, that's what I'd like to see us doing next. So, that's my
Thank you,
comments.
Mr. Cox. Ms. Hines.
I'd like to thank the students that came in earlier for the Pledge of Allegiance from Wildwood. I'd like to also congratulate the winners for the spelling bee. I am really proud to see everyone come together as a community. This is outstanding. You guys really care about our children. That's what's so important about this district. Even when it comes to behavior, it's a community issue. We have high poverty, we have trauma. Dr. Ho has brought in professionals to help us deal with the situation. Everybody's situation is different, and you guys are our leaders. You guys help us out. And like they said, sometimes it takes a village to raise a child. So I commend all of you for your efforts and what you all are doing in this district, in this community, because, behavior is an issue. It's something that we are tackling. So thank you, Dr. Ho, so much for bringing in all these special experts. Even like she says, right sizing, putting people in the right places, making sure people are in the proper positions to really help further this district. And even today, I'd like to thank everybody on the board for our really, really strong standing together about our position with the K through 5, 6, 7, 8. That really took a lot for everyone to come together because, like Dr. Holt said, it is a polarizing type position. People have different ways and views of how they think about this, but I'm really glad we were able to come together with that. And just moving forward, we need to have more positivity in this district. I mean, yes, sometimes negativity happens, but we all have to work together because, these are our children. This bond is very important. We have to make sure that we have the curriculum, like they said with the test scores. We need those things in place to help our children. We need buses to get them back and forth. We need safe buildings. We need police and fire. We need all of that there. So, we really need this help to pass this bond. So we don't need a lot of negativity in the community because it makes it difficult for us to do what we need to do to help you all out because it helps everybody as a district. And that's just my final word on that.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Dr. Weaver?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Congratulations to the Spelling Bee champions. You've done our district proud. And also to the pledge students. A community member had said something tonight that I completely agree with, and that is if there's one in the classroom that is disrupting, it does stop the learning of the other students in the classroom, and that's unfortunate. Our discipline goes to a certain level. We're not the parents. We can discipline, we can do what is within the state law, within our buildings, but we must have support of the parents at home as well. And I believe by and large that we do, but we need everyone's support to make sure that these children have the home support they need to be successful as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver. Mrs. Medill?
I want to thank everybody for coming to this meeting. It's nice to look out and see every single seat filled. It'd be very impressive if it was every single meeting we saw every seat filled, because then we truly know that you are not here for just one or two issues, but you're really here to help work as a team. We are part of that team. Yes, we're kind of off to the side a little bit because we're not down in the trenches, but we're still part of the team. You're part of our team, we're part of your team, we're all one team, and we have to make sure that we work together. It's the only way we're going to survive. And the configuration that we have voted on today, moving forward, I want you to know, I think it was Mr. Cox that alluded to how many meetings, how much information that we have received, and we've received a lot. We've had a lot of discussions. We are going to do this slowly. In previous times when we've done this, sometimes it felt like it was a little too fast and some people got whiplash from it. And that caused a lot of angst out there in the community, which is so not necessary when we're going through a process like this. So one of the things when we first started this, I said, we need to slow this down. We don't have to make it so slow that it's glacial, but we need to slow it down and make sure that everybody has a chance for input, whether they're a senior citizen or whether they're a student in the classroom. Everybody needs a chance to have that input. Going forward, we've got some plays coming up. We've got to play our spring musical plays at John Glenn and at Wayne High. John Glenn is putting on Chicago, and Wayne High is putting on Seussical the Musical. So I know that they are already into production of scenery and music and putting everybody in the right places for the plays. So make sure that you check the calendar. It's the end of April. I want to say the 26th, 27th, somewhere around there. All right, and I think both schools are at the same time. No, they've changed the date, because I think the calendar, district calendar said that they're about the same, on the same weekend, which was kind of surprising to me because we don't usually do that to the kids, and it kind of takes away from our resources. So take a look at the school district calendar and find the dates and come out and support our kids. It's also spring, believe it or not, even though there's still snowing. I mean, really, snow. But it seems to be melting on the sidewalks and the streets, and that's all I care about. But with spring comes testing. So we've got M-STEP testing, we've got NWEA testing, we've got all kinds of testing for the spring. Pardon? Yep. PSAT also PSAT too for the 9th graders, I think. I was reading on the calendar, so make sure your kids are well fed and school on time, and make sure that they're on the right day, because I know the high school has a rotating schedule of this group of kids shows up on this day, this group of kids shows up on this day. So please check the calendar and make sure that you're sending your kid to school on the right day. And also, with spring comes music concerts. Not only at our elementary, we have some music concerts that have already started, but our middle schools and our high schools. We will be coming up with choir and instrumental orchestra concerts. So make sure you come out and support our kids. They love it when the auditorium is filled, just like we love it when the board meeting room is filled. So come on out and support our kids. They really do work hard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Medell. And so, usually by the time it gets to me, everyone has said everything, but I did want to harp on a few things. As I always say, we're family. And family doesn't always agree, as Mr. Cox says, but the thing about that is when you know you're a family, even though you might not agree on something, you can come back and not have any hard feelings. Dr. Holt, when she said that we stand in solidarity with you, we stand in solidarity. There's going to be some hard decisions, and all the decisions might not be what we all think that they should be, but I can guarantee you each and every one of us are going to make decisions that are based on what's best for the children in this district. Every decision, I know me personally, every decision I make, the kids are forefront. I make decisions that I know that not just our kids here, but kids generations to come. Because my grandkids are go here. You have grandkids. You know, we have kids that'll go through the system that'll be our family, and we want to make sure that they have everything that they need. Teachers, custodians, every member, you are our family. And when Dr. Holt has said that we are going to make sure that you all are treated like families should be treated, we mean that. It's just a process. And we just ask you to be strong in the process as we go through it. It's going to take some time. We didn't get here overnight, and we can't clear it up overnight. But when Ms. Madison said that we have one employee, which is Dr. Holt, and we put her there, and we trust what she's doing. We trust the people that she's surrounding herself with, and we trust you. And we know that we're going to move this district forward, and we're going to be very proud of where we're going to get to. Like I said, it's going to take some time, but we're going to get there. And so with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time to come out this evening. I really do enjoy when you come out and you say what you have to say, and we see you out there and we can see your faces. Faces, believe it or not, it helps to see your faces out there, because we can see our family members and we know that we're making the right decisions for our family members. So with that being said, at this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mrs.
Support.
Madison, supported by Mr. Cox. Any discussion about it? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.